Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Last week we had a huge GT7 update with a bunch of changes, including a huge physics update that completely changed how all the cars in the game drive. So today I want to talk you guys through all my thoughts, everything I found from the new physics, and hopefully I can give you guys some tips, some tricks to help improve your own lap times. So while we do that, I will have a race in the background from a daily race C that I drove from the back of the grid this week on the new physics, and it was a very chaotic and interesting race, so I hope you guys enjoy that and enjoyed me yapping over it. So yeah, let's get right into it. Hello guys, and yeah, it's good to be back making these sorts of videos. As I just told you, we did have that update last week, and yeah, it's time to talk about my view on it. So first of all, I'm doing this totally unscripted, so I might forget one or other thing and kind of go out of order here, but yeah, I hope you guys don't mind that too much. So yeah, let's just start straight away. I will start, I think, just talking about the physics in general, how it drives. So this is not how I feel about it yet, this is just the facts basically, or what I feel like is happening with the physics. So first of all, it's important to note that they changed all of the setups for, I think, basically all the cars in the game. So every car, road car, race car, whatever, they all have setup changes, which makes it difficult to actually tell what is caused by the physics change and what is caused by just setup changes in terms of like different car behavior and stuff. But from at least like in general, what I feel with most cars is that you can brake later. Especially on race tires, you can brake very late now, and yeah, it feels a bit unnatural because the braking points now are like so much later, while the top end of the cars hasn't changed that much overall for the most part. So it could be because of setup changes again, but I think definitely part of that is physics changes, the fact that you can brake so much later. And I think maybe not even that much just physics changes as a whole, but it might also be the fact that they changed the ABS a bit. I don't know how they changed it exactly, but my thoughts on this are that it probably was changed to give you more braking power while you're using standard ABS. And probably that is to counter weak ABS, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't done any testing. So yeah, that's what I think, at least, that it has to do with the ABS. And this makes for braking zones to be way shorter, but then again, it still feels like you can gain so much time now in braking zones compared to before. That was indeed Rossetti spinning out there and hitting the wall. Anyway, as we pass 3 more cars. Just amazing race. Anyway, so the braking zones are shorter, but you can gain more time, because you can gain a lot of time in the what usually would be like the part of the braking zone on any normal sim / in real life, where you trail brake into the corner. In GT, trail braking, especially before the update, wasn't so much a thing, but now since the update, I feel like it's at least more a thing. It's still not actual smooth trail braking. You still gotta get off the brakes around the same time as you would before the update, I would say. It's like you just have to hold the brake harder for the first part of the turn in compared to before. Or maybe not harder, but like a bit smoother. So like when you turn in, you definitely need to go off the brake a bit, but not fully off the brakes. And then, yeah, definitely before you get to the apex, you have to be off the brakes. Like, you cannot be holding the brake all the way until the apex. That just doesn't work. But yeah, if you do it correctly, because you also get a lot of understeer now from that braking zone, but it's still worth so much if you get more braking power in the initial braking zone, right? So you can gain a lot by avoiding the crazy amount of understeer basically in that initial part of the braking zone, if you do the braking inputs correctly. Yeah, so on that topic of understeer, I feel like the understeer has somehow gotten worse. So the previous physics were already like known to be very understeery. Everyone found them understeery compared to basically every other sim. They are understeery, and now the physics are even more understeery. And you can definitely notice that if you drive with the wheel by the force feedback, but also the fact that you can actually fully... It's a bit weird. So I think they messed up something in the physics engine with steering angle and slip angle, because you can steer a lot, not full lock. Some people say you can steer full lock now, but there is like a thing where you can hold the steering more than you're supposed to, like more than is normal, and you can hear the tire screech, which in the past was always a sign of you turning definitely too much, and you would get understeer and just not rotate more, but actually rotate less because you turn too much. And now the tire screech is not a good way of telling if you have maximum turning, basically. You can push like a lot by steering more. Obviously, in the race, you're gonna kill your tires doing that. So yeah, for tire races, it will be difficult to find a good balance between pushing and making sure you get everything out of the car and actually surviving on the tire life. That will be interesting to see who will be best at that, because that will be quite a difficult skill, I think. Especially for the front tires, of course, because of the understeer and the turning, which kills front tires usually. I also think it might have some impact on tire temperature, but I haven't been able to test too much for tire temperature. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so we also have... we have the understeer and the turning. And on the topic of that turning, I also feel like you have to hold the turning longer than you used to. So usually on corner exit, you release the steering, right? As you go faster, you cannot turn as much, so you have to release the steering. But with these physics, I feel like you hold the steering and you just hold the same angle throughout the entire corner, and you have to wait quite long before straightening out. At least that's the fastest way to do it. Again, kills tires, but that's the fastest way now to do it. And on those exits, you also have more traction, it feels like. So before, the traction was already quite good, I would say, on the previous physics, but now the traction definitely feels better. Now, there are a few factors here that might make it seem like it's better than it is. First of all, I really think the setups might have a huge impact on the traction feel. For race cars, I think they just made the setups all way easier on traction, but for road cars, it feels like there is way less traction. So it's a difficult one, but I still think overall there is more traction. So it's not way less traction for road cars. That's not really true, but like a bit less at least. Anyway, yeah, as I said, more traction, tiny bit more. But this also gets influenced by what I believe is them fixing the non-linear throttle pedal and brake pedal. So they put something about it in the patch notes, but didn't really clarify it. But from what I can feel now, I haven't checked this in in my Fanatec software, because I use Fanatec pedals, where you can actually check your percentages from your input, and then I didn't check that compared to my output in game. But from what it feels like, it definitely feels way more linear, at least. I don't know if it's fully linear, but way more at least. So before, what would happen is if you pressed your throttle pedal 50%, you would maybe get like 25% throttle in, or output, I mean, in game. So it also meant that the last part of your throttle pedal, which is usually the most important part, from like 75% to 100%, is where you need the most accuracy. That part actually had way less travel in your pedal. that wasn't 25% travel of your pedal, no, that was like 10% travel of your pedal, you know? So that was quite annoying, and I think they made it better now. So it's more accurate that 50% input would also be 50% output, but I still think it's probably slightly off, but it's a lot better at least. Anyway, yeah, so I also think that might maybe give like a placebo effect for the better throttle feel, potentially, because at the higher end you have more accuracy now. Let's see. So yeah, there's also a few other things they changed. Like stuff like rain, I think has a lot less grip now. Now my teammate and friend Mew Mew did a really good video on this, which you should definitely check out. And he's also testing a bunch of stuff now from the update, so definitely check out his channel for some in detail comparisons and analysis on this sort of stuff. But yeah, it seems like there is a lot less grip now in rain, which makes it a lot more interesting when we have rain races. Also one more thing I noticed, and this is coming back to road cars, is that road cars just in general, they as I said, they changed setups, but overall I feel like they changed them so that they have less traction, but a bit more stability maybe. Like it feels very fun, honestly, for the road cars, because what you want is obviously to be able to play with them, but them not spinning out the entire time, you know. It feels fun. You do have to push quite hard, again, because they understeer quite a lot. So yeah, the physics overall definitely a lot more understeery. But yeah, these road cars, you can, I don't know if I tried any on, I think I did try some. I tried the new Caterham on race tires, but yeah, the race tires, they have so much more grip than sports or comfort tires, and I think they did something with those tires specifically. Well, with all the tire compounds, I think they did something with them, because before, the gaps between tires were also different, or well, overall smaller, I would say. But now between compounds, the gaps seem way bigger. So the hards now, they are a lot slower than mediums, and the mediums are a lot slower than softs, than what the gap was before. And that means that where before the update, I would say softs were quite a bad tire overall if you look at like tire life versus pace advantage, and the mediums were probably the best tire, and now it seems like the softs are the best tire again, at least for race tires. But I mean, probably gonna be the same for the sports and the comfort tires, where that was already the case, that the softs were extremely OP. But yeah, I was driving on some cars on comfort tires, and that's where I noticed actually that the comfort tires have a slight issue, I think it is. I don't know if it's like a bug or if it's intended, but I can hardly imagine it's intended, but they have so much noise. So the comfort tires, they work fine, like I think they feel as they should feel, with grip and stuff, and just overall feeling. But in terms of the noise they produce, it's crazy. The tire screech from them is so absurdly high. Like, it's so loud, and it's like, I don't know, it feels bugged, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's definitely like when you drive with the comfort tires now, you have to definitely protect your ears or something, because they are loud. They are an extremely loud tire now. I am curious to also see now that it looks like the softs are fast for the race tires. I'm curious to see how many races will have different strategies compared to before. I still wish that they changed the pit stops to be shorter, because when we had that in GT Sport, Now I know that's a long time ago, but when we had that in GT Sport, that was so fun because you could have like weird strategies and stuff. Like, yeah, maybe not the most realistic, but at least it was like very interesting, you know? You could do, I don't know, 3-stop for a 12-lap race. Maybe that is too much now, obviously, but it still would be fun to see them change the pit stop length. But yeah, let's talk about what I think of the physics. So what I just said is obviously everything that I felt about physics, or that I think is like the case now with how they changed stuff. But yeah, how do I actually feel about it? So first of all, I think it is a lot less, well, before it was already not the most realistic physics, of course, compared to real life. But now I would say it's even less realistic. It definitely does not feel like how cars should handle. You can push so much on the steering, on the throttle, on the braking, and the car just doesn't care, basically. And that's not really what should happen, let's be real. You should be able to overturn and spin or whatever, just instantly understeer off, or I don't know. It just feels a bit unrealistic. But then again, it does feel fun. So it's hard to explain, but for me, I always like pushing cars. I'm good at, for example, tire saving, so I wouldn't say I'm like bad at driving below, like under the pace, and let's put it that way, but it does feel more fun just pushing hard, especially under braking and on throttle. If you can just push, it feels fun. But I would probably prefer them changing the steering though, because the very harsh steering feels a bit weird and unnatural. I think that they definitely have to change. I wouldn't mind them changing the physics in general, because if they get better physics, it's just, yeah, more realistic. This isn't really that realistic, as I said, but I would say the physics suit me very well, so I would probably mind in the competitive sense for myself, because I think I'm a lot better on these physics than I was on the previous ones. Obviously, time will have to tell still, because, yeah, we just got them. We just got them last week on Thursday, and it's Friday now as I'm recording this, and hopefully also uploading this today. Yeah. Also the driving in the background, by the way, just don't pay too much attention to it. I wasn't driving that well yet. This was my second race of the week. As you can see, I'm making a lot of mistakes. It is weird for me. Like, it felt definitely in the 2 races that I did, it felt like the grip was very different in race, which is probably true because it's true in general in the game, but I wonder how much different the race compared to time trial conditions basically are. Also, fuel seems to be very different in terms of what cars use how much fuel, and just in general the BOP, they completely changed it. If you play the game, you will have definitely seen it on the leaderboards. The BOP is completely different. Group 3, Group 4, Group 2, Group 1, everything is just has a completely different balance of performance, and it's, yeah, you cannot, like, before the updates, if a car was good at something, it doesn't mean it's good at the same thing anymore after the updates, mainly because they changed all the setups. So, well, only because they changed all the setups. Well, and I guess they also changed the BOP, like they changed the values of the power and the weight, and they changed the setup values. So yeah, they changed a lot. It's mainly just the Hyundai for Group 3, and for Group 4 it's also the Hyundai, so yeah, wait, and I believe it's also, wait, I don't know what it is for Group 1. Surely not also a Hyundai, surely. Anyway, yeah, the BOP is a lot worse now compared to before the update. So before the update, especially, okay, if we're talking Group 3, which is by far obviously the most popular class, and the most people drive Group 3, I would say, in the game. It also gets used for Manufacturer's Cup and stuff, so that is a very good reference, BOP. Before the update, it was like overall the best car was definitely the Porsche 992, the new one, and it was RR. It is RR, so it has a rear engine, rear wheel drive, and that made it extremely OP on those physics. Now I don't know if it is if it's because of the physics or because of the BOP slash setup, but it feels like, well, it is the case that that car isn't OP anymore at all. But also the gap from like now the most OP car, the Hyundai, compared to like the other cars, as compared to the gap from the 992 before the update, compared to the other cars, basically, it's like way bigger of a gap now. The Hyundai is way more OP than the 992 was back then. Which is concerning, because it means that if they don't change anything about the BOP, it will be Hyundai's only, basically, for the most OP cars. There are some other cars you can use, don't get me wrong. I was already testing out the Aston, which has good acceleration, which is, so yeah, same characteristics as before the update, coincidentally. But yeah, that car is okay, I guess, and I really like how it drives. You also have the Jaguar, you have the 991, so the other Porsche is actually quite good now, and is high up on the leaderboards right now on the Autopolis Race B time trials. And we also have the Subaru WRX and BRZ is mad, the BRZ I would say, but yeah, you also have the Lancer Evo, I believe, the 296, so the Ferrari is quite good on these physics, and yeah, there's some other cars, the RCF actually, and the Supra GT500. So yeah, it's like a random mix of cars that are good and some are bad, and it's like hard to predict, because like a car like the Corvette, which is similar to other FR cars, is like nowhere to be seen right now, when all those other cars that are similar to it, they are out there, you know. Group 4 is actually even more cooked. Like, they messed up Group 4, because Group 4, yeah, the Hyundai is OP, but it's just only FF cars that you can really use. The other cars are so bad. It's like a huge gap from what I know. Like, when I was checking the leaderboards last week on Lago Maggiore, which was Group 4, Race B, at some point it was literally 1,000 cars. Like, the top 1,000 was all people in FF cars. There was no one in any other type of car. Only the front wheel drive cars. So yeah, they definitely have to fix Group 4, I would say. And that is not the first time they have to do that. But anyway, yeah, Group 1, I personally haven't checked that well. So I cannot really comment on that. But yeah. Anyway, I think that's about it from me for today. I hope you guys, yeah, learned something new, or maybe have different opinions about it, or something to say. I am open to hear from you guys in the comments, of course. Open to, yeah, hear more about the physics, because it's all still very early. Obviously, I am not 100% sure on most things that I say right now, because yeah, I might be wrong. We just haven't had that much testing yet. But yeah, we're coming into the final corner here of this race in the background. Unfortunately, Jack Garcia hits me, and very nicely he lets me back through. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that race and my yapping there, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.